So I wanted to talk about some of my favorite features with the Twiist pump that's coming out. So right now they're having limited launches, so it's not accessible for everybody, and it depends on the area that you're in. First, I love that you can tell the pump through emojis the type of meal that you're dosing for. So that will allow the pump to dynamically adjust basal, so it allows you to have better, more stable blood sugar. For example, if you're eating a meal that's higher in carbohydrates, lower in protein and fat, you can use an apple emoji, and that signifies to the pump that you are eating something that has more simple carbohydrates and less of a carb tail. And then that will allow the pump to know, okay, we need more insulin up front, less insulin over time. If you chose a taco, that's going to be higher in protein and carbohydrates, and that would signify to the pump that you need decent amount of insulin up front, but you also need insulin after the meal as well. And then lastly, if you signified a hamburger, which is higher fat, high protein, and high carb, then that would have an even wider tail. So maybe a little bit less insulin up front and more insulin with a thicker tail overall. Another feature that I really, really love is the pre-meal bolus. You can set the pre-meal. The recommendation is to set that 20 milligrams per deciliter lower than what your normal target is. So if your normal target is 110 throughout the day, the recommendation would be to set that at 90. And then what you would do is you would press on the pre-meal button going into a meal. And a lot of these automatic insulin delivery pumps actually shut insulin off going into the meal because the pump detects that the blood sugar is dropping. But that's one of the last times we want the pump to cut out the basal, because we need that basal saturation going into the meal, because that will reduce the postprandial blood sugar high about an hour afterwards. So I love this feature that you can just press pre-meal, and then that will allow the pump to give actually a little bit stronger basal and allow smoother blood sugar afterwards. The basal adjustment is very dynamic, and it can go up to 400% of what your basal is to help offset if you, let's say, didn't bolus enough, then the pump can make those big adjustments. And on top of that, you can adjust the time retroactively. So after you've already eaten, you can tell the pump, oh, I actually ate 30 minutes ago. And then the pump will determine, based on your insulin needs and your settings, how much to bolus then, and then it will adjust the basal moving forward to help reduce the big blood sugar rise from you bolusing late. And then you can also adjust the amount of carbohydrates, which is huge. So you can tell the pump, okay, I think I am going to eat 50 carbohydrates. You start eating and you're like, oh my gosh, my eyes are way bigger than my stomach. I'm not that hungry. You can actually go into that carb entry and adjust it. So let's say that you thought you were going to eat 50, but you only ate 25. So then you would enter that, and then the pump would know